So to put it simply, I'm a bit of an idiot and I didn't take my camera with me. So for those who do not know, I record the content and put it on YouTube purely because for tracking purposes, and I like making, little commentaries about things I'm interested in. So essentially, welcome to the Willpower channel. I'm Will, of course. Will Deshawn Power. That's my real name. So essentially, today I'll just be like talking over stuff as well. But that's just mainly what I do. I talk over my training. I go over why I'm doing it, why I like the whole thing behind it. So how I felt on the day, why I do a certain movement, kind of thing. And today, essentially, I think recording myself in the gym is okay in a way. So essentially, most of the time I use my recordings just to track my progress and, help people if they, and inspire people. And, a lot of people don't like, video cameras in the gym, of course. I understand, I used to be one of them. I hated being on camera. But now I mainly record every single session I have. And in a way, I think that's made me better, because in a way, I'm able to, figure out what went wrong. So like with many of my squats, bench presses, I figured out where I went wrong. And I can look back and safely say, I did this exercise correctly. I did this exercise like shit. And I kind of like don't give a crap unless someone says, oh, I don't want to be in the frame, which I, of course, move the camera. I'm not the other one sharing the space. And essentially, I don't really care about people in the background. I care about me in a selfish way. So when it comes to me recording, I don't purposely put it in a corner where some people will walk past. I put it very near myself so that people can easily go around. I'm not disturbing anyone's day. And I think that's the best way you can probably record yourself, as well as it helps you, like I just said, I have figured out so many things about my form, even with like slight exercise like cable flies, to change them up slightly so I can progress further. And also lats, stuff like that. I find it very, very beneficial to record yourself. Granted, if you don't want to record yourself for like certain exercise like lat pull down, I understand it, fully. But when it comes to more of your compounds, like, if you want to be a powerlifter or stuff like that, recording yourself is quite good, when looking at your form and stuff like that. But that's pretty much all the benefits of, recording oneself, because yeah, I get both sides. Like, I'm more of a centralist person where I'm like, I look at both sides and I completely agree, to most of the points. Like, I don't particularly like people who, allow raising the fucking dumbbell area, where it's like they're right up against the dumbbells, where their literal dick is rubbing up against the dumbbells, and they're like, oh, oh, and then move on to the exercise, which is across the gym. Of course I don't like it, but I deal with it because I see if they're trying to like just cut down time, I 100% get it, And I like to understand people, and I'm more of an understanding person, which I like to say. But anyway, we'll be getting in today's session, so I'll put it either side, whatever. Essentially, I'll put it in this side, where my door is. Essentially, I was a bit of an idiot. I didn't, bring my camera. Therefore, I'm recording on my phone here. So I've got 200 here. I'm doing it for tre, or tres, whatever the hell language that is. Spanish, I know that one. But yeah, so here I'm doing it for free, which is the 3 rep max part of my program. So essentially, just warming up to it. I'm doing 180, and I hopefully didn't say 200 there, because that's next week's. But I've got 180 and then I dropped it down to, I think, 160 for 5. So essentially just doing 2 sets of a lesser weight with more reps. And considering I'm on a cut, I don't do 3 sets anymore. It's just cutting it down, so I have, it's just to help the fatigue, because if I were to do more sets, it might cancel out. But I prefer doing 1 top and then 2 straight after, because it's way better for fatigue, minimization and stuff. But anyway, squats felt fine. I got full depth, which you'll be able to see. And squats, recording myself, I'm able to see my depth. I'm able to see that I'm actually squatting instead of quarter squatting, which a lot of people do, and is unfortunate. But, each their own. But anyway, hopefully I'm on bench press now. Bench press, I did 110, or I think I did 110, yeah. I did 110 for 3, and then I think I did 100 for 5. I did for 3 sets. Primarily because with bench press, I find with the more volume I have, especially considering that I cut down a lot of volume, I did for 3 sets and then went on to incline press and stuff. And, incline press, skull crusher, which I usually do on this day, but I didn't record because I don't have a camera and I could only, pretty much do as much as I could on the day, which it is what it is. I don't get to record all the time, and that's just it. I deal with it and I move on with it. But yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say for week 1 push day. The next bit will be pull day, but you won't see me. You won't see this glorious face, of course, because I am, of course, way better looking than Clavicle. I just pissed him off, hopefully. But I honestly don't care. But, when it comes to just progression, just going through the motions, and we'll get to pull day. So essentially, pull day, deadlifts, back, biceps, and forearms. So you get to enjoy that. So we'll get straight into it. Well, after a fairly busy week, I'm able to upload, but it's been a week since the last video, but it is what it is. So this is week 1 of the new program. I might be changing it soon. I don't know. I'll just have to see how this lot goes, because it's not looking good in terms of strength wise and building muscle wise. So but anyway, I did 200 kilograms for 3, and then I did 180 kilograms for 5 and 2 sets. So essentially, getting deadlifts out of the way, they were not great in my opinion. They weren't the best. So I just gotta keep an eye on it and see where it goes. But Pendlay rows, on the other hand, were pretty decent. Pendlay rows as of recent have been getting better. So I've got 130 kilogram on the bar. So that's at least a bit of an improvement from my previous average, which was like 125. So essentially next week I'll be going up to 210 on deadlift, and judging by that, I'll be able to say, do I need to change my program around? Because I feel like leg day is way too close to, my primary squat, and it's kind of like confusing, but it is what it is. It's the price of, getting money in the system and stuff like that, and I'm just trying to, make ends meet, especially seeing as these videos don't offer any monetary value. So I'm essentially doing all this for free, and also just trying to document my journey, so when I get older I can always look back and say, wow, I did quite well here, or whatever. But yeah, in this
part not Penlay row, cable row. I do 2 sets of one weight, and then I do a drop set. So unfortunately, a lot of my content gets lost in the vastness of GoPro space, and yeah, unfortunately, not able to show it, but it is what it is. I can't stop it. But anyway, lat pull down. Lat pull down, similar concept. So I did 2 sets of a regular weight and then did a drop set. And unfortunately, the drop set wasn't, available. It was, I think the file crashed or something like that, and yeah, it's just unfortunate, but it's what I have to deal with. Hopefully I'll be getting a new camera soon with better specs and honestly better fucking quality overall. So, but yeah, and then I did lat pullover on the lat pull down machine. People are probably cringing in the comments, but as you can see around me, it was fairly busy, the gym on this day. So I was like, I might as well just do it here, get it over and done with, which I did it fairly quickly and then got off. So, but yeah, as you can see, trying my hardest, to get those reps in and stuff like that. Because when it comes to my more of my hypertrophy work, it's like I do hold back on strength because you gotta build it up. Like 200 on deadlift isn't my all-time best on that day. I could have done way more, but I'm holding myself back in order to gain that momentum. Meanwhile, with a lot of my hypertrophy stuff, I just go to failure and try my very best. But with strength, it's like technique and stuff like that while you're building up, and then it translates to always translates to when you get to that weight that you're working up towards. But yeah, anyway, biceps, doing preach curl on a very, very short bench to the point where I have to lean down, but as I've said, it was a very busy day, and yeah, I was like, oh god, I just need to get this over and done with, which fortunately I was able to get most of it done, regardless. And it does come to a point where you've got to look around, and if nothing's going to become available in at least a while, then you got to think of alternatives. The only way I like to say, oh, can I work in or stuff like that, is when someone's doing the same exercise or very similar exercise. That's in a way, I even know, or I've seen for quite a while, and that's usually how it goes. But in most cases, I either do an alternative, because sometimes it's just like I just really want to get on with my workout. I don't really want to be talking to anyone. I don't really want to be going in between sets. But if anyone asks to work in with me, like I said in this video, I'd usually be compliant. Yeah, of course you can work in with me, because that's just the person I am, and that's the kind of gym culture that I personally prefer, because helping each other out is just the way of the gym, and I like that kind of gym culture. But anyway, incline curls, so curling up with the biceps. I think this one was okay. It wasn't like tremendous, but when it comes to especially form on certain stuff, I like to just look at myself, see if I'm doing it right. Like I've said in this video, like if I'm doing exercise like this, which I don't regularly do, I could always look at myself and just think, oh yeah, I've done this wrong, or doing this right. But mostly this is looking okay. I like looking at myself. I'm that kind of weird where I like looking at myself, like looking at my form on everything. So it's just the way I am, and that's why I record, because I've been recording myself for like 2 years or something. I don't know, because I used to record myself even though I hadn't posted it, because I think a lot of it's gone out of my phone, you know. But anyway, doing forearms here, doing some reverse curls, and yeah, look at that wide physique, look at that boulder shoulders. But yeah, getting the forearms all sorted, and yeah, that was basically the workout. And yeah, then we go into a bit of posing, which you didn't see with the previous workout, but it is what it is. And yeah, that was practically the entire pull day. Just gonna have to try well, essentially the week I'm on is week 2, so I'm gonna try this week, see if everything feels okay. If it doesn't, then I'll have to switch things up. But anyway, that's pretty much all for me today. Enjoy the rest of the posing, you know, of course. But anyway, that's all from me, and thank you for watching.